Dillian the Body Snatcher White here. It's a champ. Big up to Sporting Icon. Subscribe. Otherwise, I might pay you guys a visit.
Right, so I was watching a IFL TV interview yesterday with Eddie Hearn, and not for the first time, Eddie Hearn has said that if Dillian Whyte loses against Alexander Povetkin this weekend, then it's over for him. Is it pretty much his career? Is that what he's talking about? I don't think he's talking about his career, but he's talking about world title opportunity in the future, not just in the near future, but indefinitely. That's the impression that he was given, that Dillian Whyte will never ever get a chance to fight for the world heavyweight title. His pay-per-views are gone. This is his last chance. Now, I like Eddie Hearn. He's always been very good to me, so I'm not having a go at him at all. And yes, I am very biased when it comes to Dillian. Again, Dillian has always been very, very good to me. So even if I was to detract myself from any kind of bias that I have with Dillian, the facts are, and this is the era that we're living in when it comes to, say, pay-per-view, for example. Pay-per-views are, well, it's a numbers game, isn't it? Long gone are the days where it's a must-see fight or it must have a world title on the line. Those days are long, long gone. I know some people are still living in the shadow of that, but this is no longer that era. You are a pay-per-view fighter if you do the numbers. Dillian Whyte will always do the numbers. Win, lose or draw, people want to watch Dillian Whyte fight. People will always click that button for Dillian Whyte. That's why he's a pay-per-view fighter, because he does the numbers. This is not a case of Eddie Hearn, Matchroom and Sky are pushing Dillian Whyte down our throats and we have no choice. No, not at all. People want to watch him, people do support him, and people will click that red button. So when he talks about that, it's a little bit two-faced. Why? Because Dillian Whyte was to lose again? Personally, I don't think so. I think that Dillian Whyte is going to absolutely blitz Alexander Povetkin. But you never know, much like the first fight, you never know what's going to happen, okay? But let's just look at the other pay-per-view fighters. You've got Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. But there's another one, isn't there? Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora, every time he stepped up, he's lost. And that's the truth of it. And I'm a big fan of Derek Chisora. And I have and will always support Derek Chisora. Unless, of course, he's fighting Dillian Whyte, of course. But Derek Chisora, his next fight is going to be against Joseph Parker. So that's the main headline where Dillian Whyte has a victory twice over Derek Chisora and a victory over Joseph Parker. But they're pay-per-view. But Dillian Whyte losing to Povetkin is no longer pay-per-view? Is that really what it is that he's trying to say to us? Now, if he's saying that as a way to draw up more interest in the fight, okay, cool. If he's saying it a way to motivate Dillian Whyte to just go out there and just put it all on the line and do everything that he can to get the win, okay, cool. If he's saying it as a way to get people to encourage to click that button, what, this could be Dillian Whyte's last fight, I'm definitely watching that. Okay, cool. But if he's serious, it's very, very two-faced when you've got Derek Chisora, who has how many losses now? And he lost his last fight against Alexander Usyk. Joseph Parker, who lost to Dillian Whyte and lost to Anthony Joshua and didn't put on a great performance against Junior Farr last time out. But these are pay-per-view. I understand the undercard's pretty good, but Derek Chisora against Usyk was also pay-per-view. Derek Chisora versus Dillian Whyte was pay-per-view because he does numbers. Win, lose or draw, people will click that button to watch Derek Chisora. That's why he's a pay-per-view fighter. That's why a world title is not needed. But even then, with Dillian Whyte and Alexander Povetkin, the rematch, there is a title on the line. It's not like they're just fighting just for the sake of fighting. There is the WBC interim world heavyweight title on the line. Anybody who knows anything about interim means you are champion in waiting. So if, for example, Tyson Fury, who's currently the full WBC champion, was to vacate the belt or get stripped or whatever it may be, the winner of Dillian Whyte and Alexander Povetkin will be then elevated to full champion. In other words, no final eliminator or anything like that. No, not at all. It will be full WBC World Heavyweight Champion. This is an important fight. It's also for the mandatory position. So if Tyson Fury retains his belt and he doesn't get stripped or he doesn't vacate it or whatever it may be, Tyson Fury will have to, at some point, fight the winner of Dillian Whyte, Alexander Povetkin. It's a very, very important fight for more than just that reason, really. Of course, this is about one of our own, Dillian Whyte, a British fighter, taking on Alexander Povetkin in the hope of getting revenge. It is. And even if he was to lose, is it over? No, of course not. When it comes to world title opportunity, of course it's not over. The world heavyweight division there's a lot of good fighters, okay, but it's not that deep. All it takes is Dillian Whyte to get another 2 wins against whomever it may be, and he's back in there. Within a very, very short period of time, within 6-7 months, he'll be back in there, even if he was to lose to Povetkin. If Dillian Whyte wants it, of course. I mean, if he was to lose to Povetkin, I don't know what Dillian's plan would be. Would he just go, you know what, I've had enough now, I've made money, I'll move on? Maybe he could do that. I don't think so. I think Dillian Whyte, he's a warrior at heart and a warrior by nature. But I think that for Eddie Hearn to say that, I do find it a little bit offensive and a little bit two-faced when we look at the likes of Derek Chisora. How can Derek Chisora take loss after loss after loss and be a pay-per-view fighter, but Dillian Whyte not? Dillian Whyte does better numbers than Derek Chisora. People will watch Dillian Whyte win, lose or draw. That's how it is. I know Dillian Whyte doesn't have the Anthony Joshua fan base. I understand that. But he does have a big enough fan base where they will support him, win, lose or draw. I will always support Dillian Whyte, win, lose or draw. No matter what. I'm not one of these jumping on a hype train and when somebody loses, that's it, I jump ship and on to the next fighter. That's not what I do, and I know many of you don't do that either. So I don't really know what angle it is that Eddie Hearn is coming from. Maybe after the fight, he will clarify that. Maybe he is saying this as a way to draw up interest, as a way to motivate Dillian Whyte. If he is, okay, cool, fair play. But it annoys me because a lot of people have been saying this. Not just Eddie Hearn, but a lot of people have been saying it. I don't agree. I really don't agree. This is not the era of where a world title must be on the line and that's the only way you're going to become a pay-per-view fighter. At the end of the day, if Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury didn't do the numbers, they wouldn't be on pay-per-view. It's as simple as that. Pay-per-view fighters in this particular era are pay-per-view because they do their numbers. Dillian Whyte will for now and forever be a pay-per-view fighter. Some people don't want to hear that. Is what it is. The numbers don't lie. Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you on the next video.